And some breaking news coming in. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has withdrawn the guidelines to regulate fake news. That's official. This after the Prime Minister stepped in and asked for the Press Council of India to be the one to regulate fake news. We have Abhishek Kapoor, our Executive Editor, joining us now for more. Abhishek, it's official now. After Prime Minister stepping in, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry has withdrawn that controversial circular.
Well, obviously, Krishna, that had to happen if the Prime Minister has intervened. It cannot get higher than that. And obviously, it was a case of a lack of oversight of top bureaucracy in the INB ministry, because while the intent might be right that they need to tackle the menace of fake news, the manner it was in which it was done, it excluded the real ecosystem of fake news, which is the digital platform. It seemed that the circular mainly targeted the print and television organizations and journalists, and to that extent, perhaps the target was mainstream media. It was absolutely bad communication on the part of MIB, despite the fact that the intent was right. And now, with the Prime Minister's intervention, the MIB has clearly withdrawn the circular. It had to invariably do it. And as per the instructions of the Prime Minister, essentially any kind of regulation would remain the domain of journalist bodies like the Press Council of India or the National Broadcasters Association. The circular did, in fact, talk about ultimate decisions being taken by these bodies, but the punishment itself was prescribed in the circular, and the journalist fraternity obviously did not like that. It was seen as a kind of extra constitutional regulation, as it is seen. Press is important, a pillar of democracy, and only subject to self-regulation, and that is why reactions were coming. While the MIB, Smriti Irani herself had reacted by saying that she would be open to the idea of interacting with journalist bodies and looking at positive suggestions, some of which had come by way of these reactions. But with the Prime Minister's intervention, it is clear that any tackling of fake news, while being acknowledged as a menace, would strictly remain in the domain of self-regulation and through platforms like the Press Council and the National Broadcasting Association. Krishna.
Right, Abhishek Kapoor, our Executive Editor, there joining us for that breaking news. Thank you, Abhishek. And with that,
Congress today criticized Union Minister General VK Singh for his reported insensitive remark, comparing the demand for compensation to the families of 39 Indians killed in Iraq to demanding biscuits, and said it was heartless, shameful and reprehensible. The government said the accreditation of a journalist could be permanently cancelled if the scribe is found generating or propagating fake news, as it came out with stringent measures to contain the menace. Congress leader Ahmed Patel questioned the government's attempt to check fake news, asking whether it was aimed at preventing journalists from reporting news uncomfortable to the establishment. He also asked who will determine if a reported news item is fake, and expressed apprehension that rules might be misused to harass reporters. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu urged Prime Minister Modi to take all necessary steps for the protection of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes people. Naidu made the statement in the wake of the amendment to the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Protection Act by the Supreme Court. The NCP today launched the fourth phase of its Halla Bol attack in Western Maharashtra, which is aimed at exposing the BJP-led NDA government's failures on various fronts. Speaking on the occasion, former Deputy Chief Minister and senior leader Ajit Pawar appealed to the party workers not to be complacent and directed them to start preparations for the 2019 Assembly and Lok Sabha elections. Puducherry Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to immediately act on the Kaveri issue. In a letter, Bedi urged the Prime Minister to direct the concerned Ministry of Government of India to constitute Kaveri Management Board and Kaveri Water Regulation Committee forthwith without further delay as per the Supreme Court order. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal may be on an apology spree for the remarks he made against his political opponents to put an end to defamation suits. But a section of MLAs, leaders in the party still strongly disapprove of his act. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath suspended the Siddharth Nagar Chief Medical Officer and 2 police officials during a visit to the district. The Chief Minister also expressed his displeasure over ineffective administration and scolded the district magistrate.